A snowblower doesn't look like something that could unalive you. It's just a machine you push down the driveway a few times a winter. Except over 600 people have died using one. And in more than one case, the engine was still running when someone found the person who didn't make it. But don't panic and don't return yours either. If you've got a long driveway or a bad back, this thing is a genuine lifesaver. The machine isn't out to get anyone. It's the habits that decide how the story ends. So today, I'm walking you through the biggest snowblower mistakes behind most of that damage. And make sure to stick around for the last one. It's responsible for nearly every finger these machines have ever taken. Mistake number 10. Waiting for the snowstorm to stop before you start clearing. You might think you're saving yourself work by waiting until the storm is over before clearing anything. It feels logical, right? Why clear the driveway twice when you can just do it once at the end? But this actually works against you. Snowblowers are built to handle a moderate amount of snow, not a foot of packed accumulation all at once. When you let snow pile up for hours, it starts to compress under its own weight, and the bottom layer can turn dense and heavy, almost like it is settling. That packed snow clogs the chute more easily and puts extra strain on the engine, sometimes causing it to overheat. So if you head out once or twice during the storm and clear a few inches at a time, the job is easier on your machine, and honestly easier on your back too. Mistake number 9. Clearing a full-width path in heavy snow. Your snowblower's intake might be 30 inches wide, but that is more of a number for light, dry snow. When the snow is wet and heavy, making it chew through all 30 inches in one pass is just asking for trouble. The auger, which is the spinning part at the front that pulls snow into the machine, just cannot move that much heavy material through at once, and it starts to jam. The fix is pretty simple. When you are dealing with wet snow, cut narrower strips, maybe half the width your machine is rated for. It takes a couple more passes, but you avoid constantly stopping to clear clogs, which ends up saving you time anyway. Mistake 8. Running a single-stage snowblower over gravel. Snowblowers come in 3 types: single-stage, 2-stage, and 3-stage. The difference between them isn't just size or power, it's how they touch the ground. Single-stage machines use an auger that touches the ground, so it scrapes and scoops at the same time. 2-stage and 3-stage machines work a bit differently. Their auger stays a few inches above the ground and moves snow into an impeller, which handles the throwing. On pavement, a single-stage blower's direct contact works fine, since the auger just scrapes clean against a flat surface. On gravel, that same contact means it picks up loose stones and launches them through the chute, sometimes at more than 30 miles an hour. That's fast enough to crack a car window, dent siding, or seriously hurt someone standing nearby. 2-stage and 3-stage machines avoid this entirely because their augers never touch the ground surface itself. So before you fire up your machine, make sure it's the right type for your driveway. Mistake number 7. Pushing the machine faster than it can handle. When you're cold and just want to get back inside, it's tempting to rush your snowblower down the driveway. But these machines work best at a steady pace. That's why most 2-stage models come with multiple speed settings. The problem is that a lot of people never use them. They just leave the machine in its fastest setting and treat it like a lawnmower. But snow isn't grass. If you move faster than the auger can handle, the engine can bog down under the extra load. On packed or icy surfaces, the drive wheels may also lose traction and spin in place. And instead of feeding snow cleanly into the chute, the machine can start riding over it and leaving ridges behind. So when the snow gets deeper or heavier, it's worth slowing down a gear or two. It may feel slower at the moment, but you'll often finish faster because you aren't going back over missed patches. You're also putting less strain on the engine and drive system, which can help the machine last longer. Mistake 6. Aiming the chute in the wrong direction. The chute is the part that throws snow out to the side. It can rotate left or right, and most machines also have a deflector on top that controls how high the snow is thrown. That sounds simple, but where you aim, it matters. If you aim it into the wind, the snow blows straight back at your face and settles onto the path you already cleared. But if you aim it too low, it piles up a few feet away instead of leaving the area, so you move the same snow twice. So before you start, take a second to see which way the wind is blowing and aim the chute with it. Then raise the deflector enough to throw the snow well clear of the driveway so it doesn't fall right back onto the area you just cleared. Mistake 5. Not checking the path for hidden objects first. A fresh layer of snow hides everything underneath it, and that's exactly the problem. A garden hose left out from fall, a kid's toy, or a chunk of ice from a previous storm can all disappear under a few inches of snow. And the auger doesn't know the difference. It pulls in whatever's in front of it. That's why snowblowers are designed with shear pins that break when the auger hits something too hard. They help protect the machine, but they aren't guaranteed that nothing else gets damaged. A hidden rock or other hard object can still leave you with a bent blade, a cracked housing, or an expensive repair. Taking a minute to check the driveway or sidewalk can save you a much bigger headache later. Look for anything that could be hiding under the snow and move it out of the way. It's also a good idea to mark the edges with stakes early in the season so they're still visible after a snowfall. Mistake number 4. Leaving old gas in the tank all season. This is one of the most common reasons a snowblower won't start when the first snowfall arrives. Gas that sits for months doesn't stay in the same condition. As it ages, it can leave behind deposits in the fuel system. At the same time, the ethanol in modern fuel absorbs moisture from the air, which can make the problem even worse. Those deposits and contaminants can clog small fuel passages and cause all kinds of trouble when it's time to use the machine again. To avoid this, don't leave the same gas in the tank all summer. Either drain it before storing the machine or add a fuel stabilizer if the fuel is staying in the system. Then, when winter comes back around, start the season with fresh gas instead of whatever has been sitting there for months. Mistake number 3. Refueling the engine while it's still hot. Right after you finish a pass, the engine and muffler are still hot, and the fuel tank sits close to those parts. Gasoline gives off flammable vapor even in cold weather, so it doesn't take much to set it off. A hot surface alone can be enough. If you spill even a little while refueling and it lands near the engine or muffler, that vapor can ignite. This is exactly why gas station pumps and fire codes require engines to be shut off before fueling in the first place. The same rule applies here, just with higher stakes, because you are standing right next to the machine. It may feel harmless when you just want to get ready for the next round, but you should shut the engine off completely and let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes before adding more gas. That short wait is a small price to pay compared to the alternative. And if you can, plan ahead and fill the tank before you start the job instead of mid-session. Most fuel tanks hold less than 2 gallons, so topping off before you start rarely costs you more than a minute anyway. Mistake 2. Skipping basic maintenance between snowfalls. A snowblower still needs regular care, even if you only use it a few months each year. Parts wear down over time, and you may not notice until the machine stops clearing as well as it should. The scraper bar is a good example. Once it wears down, the blower won't cut cleanly and starts leaving snow behind. All it takes is a simple oil change. a quick check to tighten any loose bolts, and some lubrication for the moving parts. It doesn't take long and usually costs very little, but it helps the machine run better and last much longer. Mistake 1. Clearing a clog with your bare hands. This is the most serious mistake, and nothing else comes close. When the chute or auger gets packed with snow and stops, your instinct is to reach in and clear it, especially if you have thick gloves on and feel protected. But the auger and impeller don't stop right away when you release the control lever. Packed snow can act like a spring against the blades, and when that pressure releases, parts that are still slowing down can snap forward with real force, even after the engine is off. There have been over 90,000 snowblower injuries recorded, which works out to more than 6,000 a year. The CPSC also estimates around 590 finger amputations every year from this exact situation. The middle and ring fingers are injured most often because they tend to lead when someone reaches into the chute. Trust me, the only safe way to clear a clog is to shut the machine off completely. Then wait a few seconds until everything stops, and use the clearing tool that came with it or a stick. Just don't ever use your hand. I know it feels faster, but it only takes 1 second for things to go wrong, and by then, it's too late. And that wraps up the 10 biggest snowblower mistakes homeowners make every winter. Most of them come down to one thing: rushing. So take your time, and things go a lot smoother. And if you found this useful, make sure to subscribe. See you in the next one.